Alright, let's dive into this story that's been making waves in the baseball world, and honestly, it's one of those situations where you just can't help but think, how did we get here? So, the San Francisco Giants have decided to suspend payments to outfielder Harrison Bader after he re-injured his left foot in a scooter accident. Yeah, you heard that right, a scooter accident. Personally, I think this is one of those moments where you have to step back and ask, what's the bigger picture here? Is this just a freak accident, or is there something deeper going on? First off, let's set the stage. Bader's been on the injured list since the end of May with plantar fasciitis, which is no small issue. It's a painful condition that can really derail a player's season. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't Bader's first run-in with a scooter. Back in 2014, during his sophomore season at the University of Florida, he was involved in what was believed to be an alcohol-related scooter accident. He got suspended for 19 games. Now, I'm not here to judge, but what many people don't realize is that patterns like this can raise questions about a player's decision-making, especially when it directly impacts their career. From my perspective, this isn't just about the accident itself, it's about the implications for Bader's future and how teams handle these situations. What makes this really interesting is the Giants' response. Buster Posey, the president of baseball operations, said they're suspending payments until Bader can resume playing. On the surface, it seems like a straightforward business decision, right? But if you take a step back and think about it, this raises a deeper question. Where's the line between personal responsibility and team accountability? Bader's injury delays his return, which affects the team's performance. But is it fair to penalize him financially for an off-field accident? In my opinion, this is a gray area that MLB teams are going to have to navigate more carefully moving forward. Another detail I find fascinating is the specifics of the accident. According to reports, Bader's scooter crashed into the back of an SFFD fire engine, which then rolled over his foot. I mean, the irony here is almost too much. A professional athlete, already injured, gets into an accident involving emergency vehicles. What this really suggests is that sometimes, bad luck and poor timing can compound in ways that are almost cinematic. But it also highlights the risks athletes take when they're not on the field. Personally, I think this should spark a conversation about player safety, not just on the field, but in their personal lives too. Now, let's talk about the broader implications. The MLB Players Association hasn't commented yet, but you can bet this situation is on their radar. If teams start suspending payments for off-field injuries, what precedent does that set? Are players going to be held accountable for every decision they make outside of the stadium? From my perspective, this could open a Pandora's box of questions about player rights and team control. It's not just about Bader, it's about every athlete in the league. One thing that immediately stands out is how this story connects to a bigger trend in sports. We've seen athletes get into trouble for off-field incidents before, but this feels different. It's not about misconduct or legal issues, it's about an accident that delays recovery. What many people don't realize is that the line between personal life and professional obligations is blurring more than ever. Teams are investing millions in players, and they want to protect those investments. But at what cost? In my opinion, this is a wake-up call for both players and teams to rethink how they approach these situations. So, where does this leave us? Personally, I think this story is a perfect example of how one moment can change everything. For Bader, it's about recovery and redemption. For the Giants, it's about balancing business with player welfare. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder that sports aren't just about what happens on the field. There's a whole human element at play, and sometimes, it's messy. What this really suggests is that we need to have more nuanced conversations about accountability, safety, and the boundaries between personal and professional life. Before I wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. If you were in the Giants' position, what would you do? Would you suspend payments, or would you handle it differently? Let me know in the comments. And hey, If you found this analysis interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's always more to unpack in the world of sports, and I'll be here to break it down with you. Catch you in the next one.